So the WARDOGS beta just ended and man, I don't know what to do with my life. This is the first time a beta has really drawn me in many years. And to know I won't be able to play it again until September 10th when the game drops in early access, I don't know how I'm going to fill my days until then. I've logged over 20 hours in this playtest in the span of just 2 to 3 days. First off, a few minutes before the beta was ending, I jumped on the Discord to see what was going on, and man, if you looked at the main chat, the WARDOGS chat, people were going ballistic. They were making petitions to keep the beta online. They were begging the developers to keep the beta extended until their full release, and so much more. I've never seen a community this alive and this excited to play more of just a playtest. And I mean, yeah, wow, look at some of these Discord messages. People are fiending. They don't know how they're going to live without this game. And as the beta closed, the developers did make one final announcement, thanking everyone. They logged over 100,000 players in this playtest. And the developers also said that there would be a major announcement at the FPS Games Show, which they are hosting themselves. I'm assuming that's going to be probably like the final big trailer or big content drop for us to learn more about the game before its full release that next week. But enough of that. Let's get into my thoughts on the WARDOGS beta. It's kind of just hard to compare it to games like Battlefield or Call of Duty because it's very different. Those games are a lot more arcadey in a way. They're a lot more just like respawning and a lot more just straight up gunfire and running to the objective. And while this game, it's not like Tarkov exactly either. It's more in between. It's kind of like a squad, or it's kind of like a Hell Let Loose kind of game, where it's kind of that medium ground between a really hardcore shooter, and I wouldn't even say it's very arcadey at all, but it has some elements that doesn't make it a super realistic experience like a Tarkov game. But overall, I have found the gunplay to be very unique. It's more, the gunplay itself is more Tarkov-y, if I had to say, than Call of Duty-esque, because there's a lot of like movement, a lot of weight, a lot of realistic reloading kind of thing, rather than just the Call of Duty Battlefield fast reload, keep shooting type of deal where you can just sprint around. Another thing I also want to say is that this game won't be for everyone. I played this game with my friends and I was probably the one that had the most enjoyment out of it. I think it's flawed. I think there's a lot of problems with the game, but for what this playtest had to offer and that it's going to drop in early access in under a month, not even the 1.0, I am very impressed with what they have before the full access even comes out. It's a very patient game. It's going to be a game where there's a lot of downtime and then the highs are really high. When you get into that engagement, it's going to be epic. It's going to be guns ablazing and there's going to be a lot of chaos. But then there's some times where there's just a lot of running around, a lot of just running through a field, a lot of just building at a tower. But I kind of like that. I've always liked a slow burn, so to speak. While this game can sometimes be a bit of a snore, in complete honesty, just kind of running around the map, or maybe you're just somewhere that's completely barren, or you're at home base and you don't have a way to get to your objective, it can be a little bit of a snore because it takes 5-10 minutes, not 10 minutes, maybe 5 minutes to get to the zone in just a car, unless you wait for a helicopter or learn to fly it yourself. There's a lot of things that I think need to be tweaked because sometimes it's really slow and sometimes it's really fast. But I like the slowness at times. I like walking simulator games. I like games like Tarkov. I would enjoy Tarkov a lot more if it wasn't as much of a game where people live and die by it. People spend hundreds of thousands of hours on that game. They live and breathe that game. And I can't keep up. There's too much going on. I don't want to be logging in 10 hours a day. I just don't really like that. But I do like the gunplay. I like the realism, and I like that aspect of it. And WARDOGS hits that spot for me. It's that perfect medium between like a fun arcade shooter that you can just play regularly and a game you can take pretty seriously and go kind of hardcore. But my favorite thing about that is that there's no skill-based matchmaking. It's a server browser. You can just pick whichever server you want to play on. And you can quit the round whenever you want and keep your progress. That is amazing. That is truly amazing. Because you can make 50 grand, 80 grand, and just quit halfway through the match because the matches could take over an hour. They could take a long time. They could take 45 minutes or it could take 2 hours. It really just depends on the team. Because not everyone knows how to play the objective. Not everyone is playing the objective. It's just, there's a lot going on. But I like that aspect a lot. You can take the game super seriously. You can just jump in and have fun for a few hours and make a lot of progress without worrying about having to finish the match. That's really fun. I like that. Another thing I really like is the progression. So this isn't a game like Battlefield where you pick your class at the beginning of the round of the game. Like, you don't just pick that you're going to be a medic or an assault. You build your class towards yourself. What you would do is that at the beginning of the match, when you go to the vendor, you would pick your guns, you would pick your equipment, and based on the kind of gun, that would associate with a class. So if it's an assault rifle, that would be assault. Or if it's, a sniper or a DMR, that would be more of a recon thing. And then the equipment goes along with that. The more you level up that class, the more you do things for that class. If you're going for medic, you're gonna do revives. If you're gonna do engineer, you're gonna do repairs, building, stuff like that. Each match, you start with a blank slate. You just have the money you're coming in with, and you get to pick what you want to do with your money for your class. I think that's just fun and unique. I like a good economy system. I like the Tarkov economy system. That's really fun. It's like an extraction shooter. While WARDOGS is by no means an extraction shooter, the money aspect of it does feel very extraction-esque. It's kind of hard to explain how I feel about it, but it's just one of those things where you're either going to like it or you don't. And I like it. It's something that I can carry forwards, and it's something I can look at, and it's just fun and it's interesting. And I don't know what I'm talking about right now. I'm kind of just blabbering about the game because I had a really good time, and I have to figure out how to spend the rest of my coming weeks without the game, trying to play something else. So I will be back to update you guys on more of the updates that I learned from the developers, such as the FPS game show that they'll be hosting on September 3rd. I will make a video about that. So I hope you enjoyed my rant. I hope you understood what I was saying, because I feel like I was just jumping on here all excited, blah, 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 blah. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Ricky out.